Madeleine McCann story has been described as the most heavily reported missing persons case in modern history. The story has many contradictions, timeline issues, lack of corroborating evidence, and vague initial accounts that suspiciously got more detailed as time progressed. 3-year-old Madeleine was on vacation with family from the United Kingdom when she disappeared. Her parents, Jerry and Kate, had rented a holiday apartment in Portugal. On the evening of May 3, 2007, they left Madeleine and her 2-year-old twin siblings asleep in the apartment while they went to dine with friends at a restaurant approximately 180 feet away. Throughout the evening, the adults left to check on the kids. At 9:05, Dad Jerry checked on them and noticed the position of the bedroom door seemed different from how they had left it. At 9:15, Jane Tanner, one of the other members in the dining party, walked past the McCann apartment as she checked on her own kids. She later would claim to have seen a man carrying a child. At 9:30, one of the other adults offered to check on the McCann's kids as he checked on his own in the apartment next door. He returned and said everything was fine, but later admitted he had only listened at the door. At 10 p.m., Mom Kate finished eating and headed back to the apartment. She'd noticed the bedroom door quite open and would later say that when she went to close it, a breeze slammed it shut. Once in the room, she saw that Madeleine was gone and the window was open. She then ran to the restaurant. The Portuguese police were called at approximately 10:40 p.m. Staff and guests of the apartment complex searched until daybreak. It eventually came to light that the patio doors had been left unlocked, but equally as concerning was the fact that the crime scene wasn't secure and was subsequently compromised. Border police and airport staff were put on alert. Hundreds of volunteers joined in on the search over several days. The man seen by Jane Tanner proved to be a doctor carrying one of his own children home. A family named Smith also claimed to have seen a man they thought was Jerry carrying a child that night. But at the time they reported this to occur, Jerry was still in the restaurant. Portuguese sniffer dogs didn't turn up anything, but British police later sent sniffer dogs to help inspect the apartment and the McCann's rental car. The dogs detected the presence of human remains and blood. They alerted to areas behind the sofa in the apartment and near a wardrobe. Initial reports suggested it was Madeleine's DNA behind the couch, but later forensic analysis ruled it inconclusive, likely being from a man staying in the apartment after the McCanns had been there. Both of the dogs also alerted in the car rented by the McCanns several days after Madeleine's disappearance. But the rental car had likely transported items of Madeleine's, which could easily have transported her DNA. And video of the canine search of the rental car shows several issues with the manner in which it was conducted, undermining its reliability. In September, Portuguese police interviewed Kate. In the next few days, they designated the McCanns as suspects. The couple believed that their family had been watched and targeted by a predator. In July of 2008, the Portuguese police shelved their investigation and removed the title of suspects from the McCanns. In 2012, a computer-generated image of what Madeleine might currently look like was released. Then in 2013, a girl in New Zealand mistaken for Madeleine was ruled out by DNA. Because of all the unknowns and confusion with this case, theories of what happened range from a kidnapping to an accident in the home that was covered up by the McCanns, to death by oversedation so the couple could eat at the restaurant across the way. In June of 2020, German police focused on a rapist, pedophile, and burglar named Christian B. He was in prison for sexually assaulting an elderly woman, but known to have been living in the area of the apartment resort in 2007. Places where he had lived were searched without finding any forensic evidence linking him to Madeleine. He has not been charged and is set to be released from prison in 2026. Central to the case against him has been a phone call pinging in the vicinity of the resort, but it has not been proven that he was using the phone at the time. The other person on that call has been connected to pedophile and child porn sites, fueling theories of a child trafficking ring. Maryam and Denise will channel and read this famous case.
Hey, welcome. All right. So tonight we don't have Denise.
We don't.
She might log in, but she was on vacation. So we're back with a new episode of True Crime Psychic Guy. We air episodes live twice a month, sometimes 3 if there's something going on. But if you have a case you would like us to investigate, please let us know in the comments. Before we get started, let's introduce ourselves. My name's Maryam. I'm a psychic medium. We have Denise, our second psychic medium, who's typically here, but she's on vacation. She's going to try and jump in, but she may not have time. And then, of course, Harlow, the backbone of the show, our researcher, graphic designer, producer, like graphic artist, I should say, right? Everything. She does everything. Let's just sum that up. So tonight is obviously Madeleine McCann. It's one of the most widely known missing persons cases in history. She went missing while on vacation with her family in Portugal in 2007. While her parents were dining at a restaurant 180 feet away, they left Madeleine and her siblings in the apartment. By 10 o'clock, they discovered that she was gone. And still no arrests have ever been made, and she has never been found.
Yep.
Such a depressing case, but here we are. We are excited to see a lot of new True Crime Psychic Guy supporters. So thank you for joining our YouTube channel. If you're watching right now on my channel, Maryam Farish, please join us at True Crime Psychic Guy. Our separate channel, we have a lot of good stuff going on over there. If you have cases you want to recommend, please do so. Just for anyone that's new, myself and Denise, we do not follow or read up on true crime, specifically so we can come in as clear as possible. Of course, many cases like this one are very high profile. So if we have read or heard about the case, that will be shared at the top of the episode. Of course, I am aware of this case, but not aware of the details other than what we just watched. So go ahead.
I do have Lily and Jack Sullivan on the list, Joanne. I think I have a list of about 5 or 6 people right now at this point.
To add, you mean as cases?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So let me add our facts to the case and then change this up a bit. And this case is, for me, it's unsettling. They're all unsettling, of course, but there's something about this one that I'm having trouble putting my finger on what really happened. And for anyone that's seen prior episodes of ours, I tend to just like spew information out pretty quick in the beginning. And, but I think this one might take a little bit of time, a little bit of practice here.
Yeah, this one's all over the board too, as far as what other psychics have said. Some think she's still alive, some think she's passed. Some have like tried to send coordinates to the police as to where her body might be. Right before the show, I was watching another pretty well-known psychic, and she gave an incredible detailed account, and it's a strange one.
Oh, really?
So it's kind of all over the place as to what people think.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So let me get started here. I've got my phone here and I have pictures that Harlow sent me that we can't use because they're copyright, but I'm using them to read. So I read off of photos. So she sent me some. So let me. Parents were not involved. She has since passed. Parents were blamed because there was a little bit of negligence that went on, but that wasn't purposeful. It's almost like you can chalk it up to bad parenting or just almost that privileged sense of it won't happen to me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and being on vacation, sometimes people have a false sense of security. It was a resort area, kind of self-contained with the restaurant right there, just not that far away.
Okay, so I'm seeing this person coming in. Okay, so for a moment, just give me a second. He's coming in. There's a familiarity to what he's doing. There's a pattern. He knows the building. He knows he's done this before. That's what I'm trying to say. He's done this before. Okay, so what the original plan was ransom and kidnapping, ransom, and then return once they got their money. That was the original plan. And I do feel like they were working with government officials. And this went wrong. The child was passed off to someone else. And at that point, she passed. This all happened in a very short period of time. Days. The person that why was she passed off? The person that she was passed off to, like, why was she passed off? Why didn't they stick to the original plan? Something about being found out. They were somehow they would have been given some leeway, some how do I say this? Their plan originally included them being given clearance, leeway to execute it and then return the child and keep the money. But somebody found out, and someone in the government who is trying to fight corruption found out or became aware and was about to intervene or did intervene. So they quickly passed the child off. And at that point, she passed. I keep seeing underground tunnels. Like I'm seeing them coming up from underground.
Are they in a building, or is this outside where you access?
The underground tunnels?
Mm-hmm.
It feels outside because I'm not really feeling a structure like literally on top of it.
Okay. How far away from the apartment was it? For
what's meters?
I do not know. Can someone look that up for us real quick?
I don't know if it's meters or miles yet, but meters
Okay.
came in.
That's probably what it is then.
And the underground tunnel isn't like it's set up, but it's not like it's lived in. It's not like this is like a pass through for them.
Thank you, Anita. I just got it too. 1 meter is about 30 inches. I got 39, I think it said. So 4 of those.
Yeah, it's like I see a gutter,
Uh-huh.
and that gutter is connected to the resort. And then there's this underground tunnel. I mean, they're literally like it's almost like it's almost like they're utilizing the sewage that's
Actually,
already
in that resort property itself.
the gutter to the resort, but I'm seeing them like utilizing a sewage
Okay.
drain to walk down. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So this isn't like it's some like elaborate underground tunnel that they built and it's a whole thing. It's not that. It's like the sewer.
Right.
But there's chairs and a table, and nobody saw them. Nobody saw them leave with her.
How about, do you need to keep going or can I ask him
No,
questions?
please. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. When the parents were checking on the kids, supposedly between whenever it was, the time somewhere, but between, like 9 and 10, one of the ladies went to check on her own kids and supposedly checked on the McCann kids and said she had seen a man carrying a child, but that turned out to be a doctor carrying his child. So she didn't see anything either then. You're saying nobody
Correct.
saw them at all? Okay.
Like they had her inside like a trench coat or something, but it was like literally nobody saw. And I don't mean literally a trench coat, but something like that.
Yeah, covered up with something.
And she was small enough that was possible.
Right. Did they come in through the doors that were left unlocked?
Window.
The window? And probably left through the door, maybe?
Was that window? How many stories up was the window?
It was the ground floor.
It was all window. And this family wasn't targeted. It was something that these people were planning on doing, and they scoped out the location and the building, and they were targeted in the sense that they were just going to take a child, hold it ransom, and collect money that they felt they were owed for I don't know what. And so, but it wasn't necessarily this family. You see what I'm saying? It was just bad luck.
Okay. Especially, yeah, it makes sense if they knew the area and had done it before. They'd taken children before?
There is this, I don't know that they have. They're a mob type group, and they do things obviously like this, but I'm not feeling something. This was done. There was something, a bigger issue at stake, something going on that caused them to be like, okay, well, we'll show you. Not to the family, but to the government or to whomever owed them money in the government. It was something, it was very, 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 very corrupt. And this was something, though, someone in the government was trying to fix the corruption and stop the corruption. But this was constantly going on, not necessarily with children as much as with in other ways. I'm not saying they didn't do it before, but I'm not really feeling like this is a serial problem for them. They do what they need to do to collect what they need to collect, and they'll do whatever it takes to get that.
Were these people that took her native to Portugal, or were they
Yes.
other national? Okay. Was it, so from what you're saying, it wasn't like someone paid to have her taken, like she was bought to be passed off or anything like that?
No, she was passed off because they found out that they weren't going to be allowed to go through with this. So they just passed her off to
Okay.
someone who would take care of her. Not take care of her literally, but
Take care of the problem. Yeah.
take care of the problem.
Yeah. Okay. So the parents had nothing to do with it.
No.
Okay. And it wasn't any sexual predator.
No.
All right. Can you kind of wipe out you always wipe out all my questions.
I'm not even feeling like she was abused.
Okay.
She was it was, fortunately, if there is anything fortunate about this case, is it was very quick. Within, I feel, 3 days, boom, 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 and she was gone. There wasn't abuse or anything like that. Just because they didn't care enough. It wasn't like, so yeah.
So with that said, can we hone in and try to find where her body is, get more information? And to answer that question, the one woman who was supposedly Madeleine, they did a DNA test and ruled her out.
Yeah, she's not alive.
No. At least that woman is proven not to be her. So will her body ever be found?
I don't think so, because I think she was thrown ultimately after she passed. She was thrown in the water. I love when you ask me these detailed, gross questions.
Well,
I know.
that's why we're here, trying to get as
know.
much information as we can. There's, a family that wants to know and have closure. So if there's anything we can do.
But it's making me uncomfortable. Just kidding.
Why are you here?
Okay, so yeah, I feel she was thrown into water.
Okay.
They're not. So here's the thing. I don't feel they're going to find. I do feel like something is going to be found of hers that's going to give them not. There's no such thing as closure in situations like this, and I know, but like something is going to be found of hers. Let's just leave it at that. Something is going to be found that connects to her directly, and that is hers, or DNA or whatever, that is going to be found. I'm feeling very specifically, I'm feeling her on like her remains on Earth, on the planet, and then I'm feeling them just like after also just like cremation feeling, like she was almost as if she was cremated, and she's just dissipated into the earth. But it's like she passed on the soil, and then her remains were thrown into the water.
Okay.
And since then, she's, her remains have just sort of, it feels like, a cremation type. But it's like, I don't know if something's going to wash up, or if they find it on the soil where they removed her, I can't tell which, but there is something that is going to be found.
Okay. You have any idea of a time frame when that'll happen?
How many years has it been?
That was 2007. That's
Oh, more math.
yeah. I'm not. It's a long time.
Has it been 30 years? Because I'm hearing 30. 20, what are we, 25?
Mm-hmm.
So, Anita, do some math for us. 2025 minus 7, right?
-7.
I don't know. Who knows math? There's 22 of you guys watching. Does someone know math?
And nobody offers any help because it's probably funny to watch us.
Struggle totally.
I don't even. Yeah, I'm like my mind is on so many other things.
Anita, it's your job, not Harlow's. Anita's like, why is it my job? I'm feeling 30 years. At the 30
18
year,
years.
it's been 18.
18.
Okay.
Okay.
It feels like at the 30-year mark. Great.
Okay. All right. Wow. So we got a while to go.
Part 2 coming up. 15
Well,
more years.
So will the men that did this, will they ever be caught? Will there be something that links them and connects them
So
to
let
her?
me go back. I said 30, and we all know it could be, maybe I'm hearing 3, maybe I'm hearing 30 days. I think I'm hearing 30. And I feel like it's years, not days. So I just want to clear my name in case something comes up in 30 days and I can be like, no, I meant 30 days. Okay. So sorry, you were saying, what was the question?
I have no idea. Oh, will these men ever be caught? Will anything link them to Madeleine?
So this man, the man who originally took her with the plan to ask ransom to collect money, he runs this underground like drug ring gang. Just he was the leader. Okay. And then there's the government up here. Okay. And there was corruption in the government, and they were working with this guy. And I'm doing this because I'm seeing him going back and forth through like through the tunnels and through government, through the city, just quietly corrupting everything. And like, it's not that it's totally quiet because people are aware, but it's just not being addressed, right? So then you have these people in the government who know of him and are just kind of turning a blind eye for whatever reason. Some of them are working with him, some of them are involved. And then you have this man that's up here, and his whole purpose of getting into government was to stop that ring.
Okay.
And so they thought they could get around him because there were so many underneath this one man that were involved in the corruption that they thought they were safe and it would keep this thing going. And this guy caught on, and that's the trickle down effect where they were like, this isn't going to work. So everyone knows who that man is, but they don't have anything on him. Like, they can't catch him in the act. There's also this fear of massive retaliation because for some reason, this man that is doing all this stuff, he's in some groups, he's seen as sort of like a Robin Hood, where he is helping out those who need it, which is why he's been allowed to do this. It's been very convoluted. Why he went this extra mile and took a child from a affluent family was part of a bigger, he was owed money. Like, there was this money, I don't know if it's laundering, but there was this, you owe me this money and I'm going to do what I need to do. And he knew that he would destroy this location, what do we call it, where this vacation spot, by doing this. And so but he had never taken a child, nor had he ever offed a child.
Yeah.
So this isn't, I'm not saying he was compassionate, but this was an extreme move for him. Since then, he's gone underground and he's remained underground. And I feel like he lived his whole life there and has since moved on to another country. And so they can't touch him even if they wanted to.
Okay.
They also don't have any proof that he was the one that did it. And since he wasn't the one that technically removed her off the earth, that isn't there either. So who he handed her off to, that person is just, I don't even feel that that person lives there. I feel like that person flew in, came in from somewhere else, and just did the job, which is what that person would do a lot. And they had this ring down so fluid and so organized that this man's come in and helped before without untraceable and has remained untraceable.
Okay.
And so they really don't have anything to go off of. They really don't. And some of the police work that was done was sketchy because you had people that were either directly associated with this man and the corruption or just on the fringes of it and were scared to go against this man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Things got sketchy.
The Portuguese police were really bad and they were criticized highly. Mm-hmm. And it was just a mess.
So I don't feel like I'm not going to say for some reason, there is something very open-ended about this case. I feel like there is someone in Portugal who just in the back of their mind is like, I want to be able to bring this family closure somehow. Mm-hmm. And even though he may not be, actively every day doing this, he knows that something's going to surface. Because he knows the dots are all connected.
Right. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We have a question. Well, why do you think there are some cases like this one and Amy Bradley's, John Bonet's that never have leads or are solved while other cases are? I think a lot of it has to do with how the police handle a case. Like Amy Bradley, the FBI wasn't even there until much later. The room had already been cleaned, and you have things that come into play like that. So, and then you have this one in Portugal where the police really probably weren't even equipped to deal with something like this. And then if there's corruption inside, it's going to happen.
And from a more spiritual perspective, on one hand, when we look at life, there are some things that are unavoidable. We're 50-50 co-creators. So there's a 50% we have control and a 50% we don't have control. And sometimes if it's our karma, our destiny to have this something like this take place, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And so in these cases, like we can look at all of the different pieces. And if you, it's like, sometimes I describe it like this way. It's like, if you've ever had something really good happen in your life and people say the stars all aligned, right? Well, this is true. Stars align. The universe is in balance, even in the most horrific experiences. And in situations like this, the stars also align because it is what is supposed to take place for the souls, all the souls involved to learn. And so everything will align in a real crappy way so that it takes place. And unfortunately, in this case, that was, and that doesn't make it doesn't make it feel better, doesn't help anything. I'm just expressing how things unfold. Mm-hmm. I think for me, the only thing that brings a tiny bit of peace to this case is that in those 3 days that she was taken, the suffering was minimal. It was just, she was in shock. So there wasn't even time to process what was happening. And then she was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard a couple other psychics say that as well.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
that it was just a matter of even a day
Hmm.
in some cases. Let's see, we have another comment. Had someone been watching, learning the group's movements in order to take Madeleine at just the right time after the checks of the adults? Did they think about taking the other two children?
No, this was just about one child. We want our money. We'll give it back. And this is where I was saying earlier, it was, this is privileged behavior. Families who never had anything bad happen, who, like you said, they're in a resort that they feel is safe. And so I don't feel anyone ever, she was taken before they all started checking on these kids.
Okay.
Because I don't feel like anyone ever saw her in her bed. No one ever opened the door enough to actually see what took place.
They supposedly looked in. The dad supposedly did the first time, but maybe not. Maybe he just saw covers and thought it was her.
Yeah, I feel like that's why I was saying there was negligence, not purposeful, but negligence on how they were looking after the kids. And because she was taken quick.
Okay.
And they know, these people know the resort. They knew yes, they were aware of the patterns and the behavior. And to answer the question, yes, I feel like they had been watching the family enough to know what they did, that they left.
They were going over there to dinner more than once. So yeah, it wasn't a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't see anybody else have any other questions. Bizarre that in this day and age, a child would be left alone in windows unsecured, not like it was in the 60s. Yeah. That's the consensus. So, these are two doctors, her parents, and on vacation with friends having dinner, and it just kind of set it up for the whole thing to happen.
I mean, I don't even leave my animals in that situation, but I know I'm not,
especially in a foreign country. That's the kicker, really, for me.
Yeah, I know. And I'm sure, we live and learn, right? Hopefully. So what is coming up next for us? Do we know?
There are possibilities. I mean, we've talked about a lot of different things. We've talked about revisiting the Jodi Huisentruit case. We were just talking about Breonna Maitland. And I've got a list of about 5 cases that people have been commenting on suggestions. And so we don't have one picked for sure, but lots of possibilities.
All right. Well, that was insightful. I'm actually really happy that I got the information I did, because I was a little nervous, because I just felt like there was just a weird block. And maybe that block was just because I was so familiar with the case, and I just remember the headlines, and I remember all that. And I remember they were leaning really heavy on the parents.
For sure. They really were. They were labeled suspects by the Portuguese police for quite a while.
Yeah. And that I had to really navigate, get around that.
And then, they zeroed in 2022 on the sex offender, but it's been all these years and they still haven't pressed any charges and made an arrest, and he's going to get out of prison next year. So it just seemed like that was a dead end. They've dug up all his properties and not really found anything that they've released. So it seemed like they just haven't gotten anywhere.
Yeah. Interesting.
Does Madeleine have anything to say?
No, she passed and she moved right on. She was, I feel like she's already come through in body again, and she has let go of this.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. It feels like she came in just to allow the parents to have the experience, not because the parents are being punished, but that's what it feels like, because she feels so released from this and so free of it.
Could it even be like a karmic cycle with her parents, something that they're finishing off?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. That was a good question. All right, you guys. Well, good case, Harlow.
Yeah, this is a really well-known one. I was kind of hoping Denise would pop in, but maybe we'll hear from her after, because she said she got some feelings from the photos. So it's going to be I'm curious to see what she got.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to do a post show. We're kind of liking the post show episodes. So we'll record that for you guys on Monday with Denise, so Denise can bring in her 2 cents and what she's feeling. And we always say, me and Harlow always like, poor Denise, she always has to read after the fact, and it's always hard to follow another psychic, but she really does well.
Yeah, I especially like her using her cards.
Yes.
DB Cooper's a possibility. That one, I'm in Indiana. I don't know that one. For Indiana, I'll see if I can look into it. That's not a lot to go by, but I'll check it out. DB Cooper, I know a lot of people are interested in that. Personally, that one's never interested me. That's why I've kind of not done it, but I know a lot of people are. It's just not something I've ever been interested in. I don't know why.
Interesting.
But it's a possibility.
And for new subscribers, Harlow is just like everyone else, but she's deeply intuitive, and she is it clairsentient, where the whole body feels? I think it's that one. I always forget which one it is. So we always follow Harlow's intuition on which case she's guided to do.
I didn't feel anything regarding this one, but I think maybe because I've been kind of bouncing back and forth between so many different cases lately. We're doing the short versions and the long versions, and maybe revisit this one. So
yeah, it could be
nothing quite like Amy. That Amy was phenomenal.
Yeah. I also feel like it makes sense that you didn't feel anything on this case because Madeleine's gone.
Yeah.
She's not tied to it. She doesn't carry any energy. She's not stuck. She's just, guys, I've moved on. Why haven't you? That's the energy of her,
Yeah.
Flora 4 doesn't get enough attention. 2016, she said.
Yeah, I'll look into that. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol Ann.
Appreciate it.
So follow us on True Crime Psychic Guy. If you're not following me on my page at Maryam Farish, I'm about to do a guided meditation for us all at around 7:00. So yeah, join me there. I do short guided meditations around 10 minutes. We do some tarot and then get in, get out, and you guys can go to bed. Great work tonight, Harlow, like always. And keep an eye out for our post show, which will have some Denise doing some of her read in that also.
Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel and keep sending in the suggestions.
Thank you. Thank you, Harlow. Bye, everybody.